Hello and welcome to Actualized I. Today I'm going to go over 4 main points from my notes on Life is a Maze from actualized.org. This video that Leo did, this latest one, is Life is a Maze. And it's actually been quite profound the last couple of days as I've actually looked at life as being a maze. Not really thinking about it in that way before, but it sort of puts things in perspective. Instead of life just being this thing that you're pushing through, it sort of compartmentalizes, just like a maze. Picture a simple maze in your mind where you're tracing through the lines to get to the end. But in this maze, there are side rooms and there are levels underneath and levels up above. There's hidden rooms, there's emotional rooms, there's relationship rooms. There's a lot of things going on. And looking at life in this way just kind of made it sort of like, this is interesting. This situation that I'm in, everybody's in situations every day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And as I'm in these situations, I'm recognizing that they seem to be a little easier for some reason to work through. They seem to flow sort of more in my favor. That's not really how I want to say that, but it sort of feels that way. So I just noticed something making that mind shift a little bit, and that's really only, honestly, the last couple of days. Leo just put this video out on Sunday, and I've been working on the notes and working through contemplating this through the past couple of days. So, main point: life is a maze. Really, like, shoot, end of story. I mean, that's it. This video's done. I'm out of here. So seriously, he breaks this down. He spends a good bit of time working through the nuances of what this means. But really, life is a maze. Like, boom, there it is. If you don't get anything else from that video, if you don't get anything else from these notes, from these insights, from his insights, just take the next couple of days, just like I have, and think of it in a way of being a maze. And just, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, especially if you're a contemplative person, if you're a philosophical person, if you just like to think about things from time to time. This is going to be interesting. So let me get to these 4 main points. Here's number 1. Point of life is to figure out the maze. Well, again, I just said, here, life is a maze, figure it out. Like, there it is, that's it. But the point is to figure it out. And if you don't even recognize that you're in a maze, you are going to struggle. Poor, rich, beautiful, not beautiful. You think of different aspects of what you could be in life. Anything you possibly could be in life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take precedence. Like, being rich doesn't make it easier to go through the maze. Being poor doesn't make it easier going through the maze. Being most of humanity in all of life's forms does not make it easier just because you're going through the maze. What makes it easier is recognizing that you're in a maze. So my insight here for you, what do you want to experience? I mean, as you're going through this maze, do you even want to recognize that there is one? Do you not care? You don't believe it? This is crap. Turn off the video. Have you ever thought about it before? You know, what do you want to experience in life? That comes down to the basic question here. And you can choose to not see life as a maze and continue down the rat race that you're on, always grasping after that cheese. Or you can maybe decide that life, you've kind of had enough with the way things are going. Maybe looking at the maze idea here and visualizing it a little bit and really being contemplatively serious may just make all the difference. Which brings me to second point. You can't solve the maze. He starts talking about how to solve this maze. He gives some really interesting points, things to recognize, which all of this and the extension of my notes will be down in the description box for you guys to check out and follow along with and really get the nuts and bolts and the little pieces. I'm just kind of hitting on the main points here to really give you something easier to think about. Hierarchy, more like a hierarchy. It gives you a main point, a main designation in your mind, and 3 or 4 or 5 is a little easier to swallow, and then get into the nuances. If you go right through all of it, then it all feels like nuances, and it's overwhelming for most of humanity. There's a few of you that just get it right off the bat, and you're pretty freaking amazing. I would love to get to know you and make friends with you. I can pick your brain in some serious ways. But he says that you can't. You know, how to solve this maze, it's not just like you solve it, it's done, like a video game that once you get to the end, it's over. Once you get to the end, there's something new. There's something new on the horizon. I would argue that we could discuss even death. That your existence and your being may just be beyond what we consider death, and therefore you kind of don't end the maze. There may be something else on the other end of that horizon, you know, something, another room to walk into, just blow your mind at that moment. Like you think you're dead and life is over, and now all of a sudden there's this new game level that you're at, kind of thing. Yeah, contemplative thoughts going on here. So just know that it's not something you can just solve, and then it's over. It's not cookie cutter. There's no quick fix, fast way to do any of this. As I'm finding out as I'm trying to actualize here. Another point. This is what life is all about. Sort of sounds like I just said that, but think about it for a little bit. It's just slightly different than it was before. This is what life is all about. It's like a supreme purpose. It is the main program, the hierarchical setup for you computer wizards out there. It's at the top, okay? Anything else, all the nuances, all the little aspects of life, relationships, emotions, mental thought processes, physical capabilities, all of these are subroutines underneath. This is what might be the main program of reality, is they built a structure. We built a structure. I built a structure. Somehow there's a structure of reality being built all around, and it is the maze. I am the maze. I am not the maze. I am part of the maze. I'm in the maze. I'm running through the maze. I'm also watching the maze. Strange thoughts there, but think about it. Really think about it and look for the truth and not just the negativity. In my personal life, I talk about this with my friends and my family. You know what your main purpose is? Religion will tell you one thing. You got to find your purpose like it's out there somewhere. But let me give you the hierarchical purpose, the main nuts and bolts of your purpose for life. Let me just move in a little bit. It's to live. Okay? Do you understand that? That trumps everything else. Everything from the point of your birth forward is your decision-making processes through the maze. Either the maze is making the decisions for you and building your own ego, or you're making the decisions for yourself and building who you are to be, minus the ego, and a mixture of both. That is life. It's to live, to work through this maze, to choose which rooms to go down, to choose whether to win the level or not win the level, win the day or not win the day. This is the supreme purpose. Point number 4. Backsliding and feeling lost is not uncommon. It's a part of the maze. If you're actually playing a video game, you notice that sometimes you lose. Sends you back to maybe a save point. Hopefully you were smart and hit the save point. Or if for old heads playing some of these old games, if you died, you're screwed all the way back to the beginning. It's like Tetris level 12. You're super into it. You're getting through and you screw up and you got to go all the way back to level 1. There are setbacks. There are things that make you feel like you're not moving forward. But let me just twist that a little bit. Maybe that's what the maze wants you to think. Maybe that's what the maze wants you to feel. But what if you picture yourself standing in the room that you found literally in a maze? You've been walking through this maze for hours, days, weeks, months. You walk into this room, maybe a room of emotional regret, maybe a room of unwanted job career, maybe a room of heartache, maybe a room of like not feeling like you're physically where you want to be or how you want to look. You're in one of these rooms. It feels like it's bringing you down. It feels like it's a step backwards, like you can't get out of this room. You can't move forward. But what you don't realize is maybe the maze has a secret door. That once you realize that where you're at isn't a setback, but it's a learning process, and all of a sudden you realize that this is a learning process, you start asking yourself questions, you start contemplating, you start thinking things through, you stop just being driven by how the maze is making everything look for you, and you start to decide what you are going to see in that room, and you change things, and now all of a sudden the door starts to reveal itself a little bit. See, you were never set back. You were never put all the way back to the beginning of the maze. You never were set back out of the room, 4 levels down at a save point, and now you have to go all the way back through all that to get back to the door, to get back to that room. No. What if facing it, contemplating about it, and moving forward, trying to actualize the situation in your terms, in your way? What if that reveals the door? Now, again, you're not moving backwards. It's not a failure. You have succeeded. You have won the room. Now you have knowledge, you have strength, you have power, you have experience that you didn't have before. Now that room isn't just another part of the maze you just wandered through. It's a memory. It's a solid part of your life that you have solidified and learned from in such a magnificent way that now that door that wasn't there before swings wide open and gets you to move to another level. See, you thought you were stuck on that level. You thought you were just wandering through that level trying to find the main boss. But what you didn't realize, this was a secret room. And there's lots of these secret rooms. And when you break through that secret room, when your eyes tend to be broadened even more than they were before, doors open up to new levels, to new heights, to new abilities, to new strengths, to new successes. So, those are the 4 main points. As I said before, there's a lot of little nuances, some added things to the notes. And even this is just a sort of consolidation and a bit of insight from another perspective based off of what Leo is talking about at actualized.org. So at this point, I encourage you to check that out. Check out his website. It's loaded full of information and good stuff. Go to his YouTube channel and subscribe. Start getting this content every day and going on that actualized journey, and add your perspective. You're going to grow. You're going to grow. Even if you don't think you are, like you just sort of haphazardly watch one of his videos and you get a little like, oh, that's pretty cool. I never thought of it that way. That thought is now a seed, and it's going to start to filter through your system. It's like me, I listened for months, never actually actualizing. And one day I was kind of called into, coaxed into sitting down and writing down some notes and doing something about it, and not just mentally masturbating, as Leo points out. So next time, there'll be another video just like this based off of the video that Leo has just put out. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. And then as soon as I get through the notes and kind of contemplate it myself and add my perspective, I will make one of these videos and put it out there for you guys and for me, just to help continue to build on some of these concepts that Leo's pointing out, and at the same time really building myself to be a stronger person all around. And then hopefully in turn it helps you guys out also. So if there's any links that I talk about throughout the video, put them down in the description box also for you guys, so you can quick link to those places, get that information, and continue your journey and your process towards actualizing. So that's the end of this episode. Take care. I'll see you guys next time.